Welcome back to the Virtually Viking Radio Show. I'm your host, Sunshine Neely, and today we're discussing all things allied health with Dr. Holly Collette. Dr. Collette is the Dean of Allied Health here at St. John's River State College, and we are excited to have you on the show today. Um, Dr. Collette, can you tell us where you're from? Are you from this area, and how many years have you been with St. John's River State College?
Yes, Sunshine, and thank you for having me this morning. I am from Palaca, Florida, and I have finished 17 years with St. John's River State College.
Oh, wow, wow. Well, I am from Palaca as well, so that is awesome. Now, can you share with me like what inspired you to pursue a career in allied health and eventually become the dean of the allied health program here?
Right. Well, I always had a desire to help others. And interestingly, really, I just didn't have a drive for nursing. I was really after physical therapy all the way, 100%, even through as far back as I can really remember. Well, that avenue did not turn out for me. So I
Uh-oh.
did not get accepted. And that's okay, so items, happen in your life. And then I actually came back. I went up north to Pennsylvania and got my bachelor's degree, came back, and my mother found an ad in the newspaper back at that time when ads were still in the newspapers. And
Right.
I'm dating myself here with respiratory care. And I went to Santa Fe College. So I worked clinically in Gainesville. And that's how I became with the healthcare practitioners and just being around the whole healthcare team. Respiratory care came to me because you were still involved with the exciting parts. Well, to us in
Yes.
healthcare, adrenaline is exciting in that way. And then after being here at the college since 2007, I had a clinical director role, and then I was moved up to program director, and supervisor at the time, or my boss, gave me a chance to be an administrator. And then after I was associate dean, and then in 2018, I became dean because there was a retirement. And I really like it just because of you get all aspects of it. You
Right.
still manage, but you are just a small part of the whole allied health department. And you
Exactly.
just, continue to make and move and ahead with strategies that you need to do, or you hear industry needs.
Definitely. Now, do you feel like when you working, you went to college and then you worked in the field? Do you feel like that helps you as far as like being a dean and being relatable to students and your professors?
It does. And just knowing clinically, and then some people will say, well, you've been out of it for a little while, which that is true. I have been out clinically, but that's where you continue your relationships out with the industry partners. And then you get to know, and then you let your experts, in other words, the faculty, the content experts, come back and say, okay, Holly, this hospital has this, or this one has this. And, within our parameters, then we get the students, what they need to. So I really like that.
Definitely, definitely. So, now can you, I know we have a new program, so I do want to hear about all about that. So, can you tell me about the new programs or any new incentives that we're introducing this fall semester?
So this fall, we had diagnostic medical sonography technology. And that one was just born out of need, as far as the industry partners and what they were telling us. That one has started on the Orange Park campus, and we started out with a cohort of, it was 13 that we started with. And again, they haven't got out to clinical yet. They will be entering that in the summer of
Mhm.
25, but we have our partners on board.
That's pretty exciting.
Mhm.
Yes. Now, that is a selective program. So, did you have to are we is there like a strict criteria to get into that program?
That program, yes, does
Okay.
require prerequisites to be completed up front. And there are 7 or 8 of them, and they are on our website. But that's what everybody needs to look at and to prepare for. That is a
Yes.
full associate in science degree program. Yes.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's going to be really good. Now, what advice would you give a student considering a career in allied health?
Any of our health programs here at college, you cannot, if you are a learner that has gone all the way through and just skimmed stuff or
Hmm.
looked at PowerPoints, you have to understand that we are dealing with saving lives here.
Right,
And you
right.
are going to have to read the material.
Yes.
You skimming PowerPoints anymore, it's not going to get it. And
Yeah.
that's more and more over the years that has evolved. And we just have to remind students that just know that all your efforts in your prerequisite classes, they mean something. Because the minute, even if you're doing enrollment, the minute you start to take that class, once that final grade is on that transcript, it's there.
Is there. Exactly.
Right. So you have to realize that all your efforts that you put together up front do definitely make a difference. And I would also say too that if you don't think the 5% attendance or the 10% homework, some of
It
those you
matters.
have to take care, right, of the smaller percentage categories of your grade, because yes, it can make a huge difference in the future.
Definitely, definitely. Now, so having being the dean of this of Allied Health Program, how do we make sure that we foster collaborations between the Allied Health Program and then our local healthcare community?
So the majority of that is done with advisory boards. And, we have gone to a lot more virtual meetings, but again, it's still going out there and actually making physical contacts, going
Yeah.
to meetings, yeah, to the sites. And people do not realize which really facilities we are in. We are in from the rural community hospitals all the way to the teaching. If you go from Duval County to Alachua down to Volusia and back around and make, I call it an egg, just make an
Right.
oval between 95 and 17, and then out towards Gainesville, and all like imaging centers in between, nursing homes, and there is a long list. And I think some people have still the misconception that just because we're a state college that we don't enter these facilities. Yes, we do.
Yes, we
And
yeah.
we are right there at bedside with all of the physicians that other schools would work with. And I also want to tell people that we take the same board exams as Georgia State University, as
Right.
Louisiana State University, as the Ohio State University. Our national exams for any of these programs are not any different than what the universities actually take. Really, the universities, they just have more time for research and
Right.
classes, in the bachelor's degree. But primarily, the main competencies clinical that you're going to get are, again, the bulk of it completed here in the 2-year program.
Definitely. And I wanted to, I think you're right. You're right. People have a misconception that we're not there, or we're not in some of these facilities. Recently, my mom was in the hospital, just an in and out thing. But I was really proud to see there was some SJR State students there getting their, clinicals, and I'm not sure, what they were, but I was like, go, that's me, that's us. So I was really excited. I mean, they did well. They seemed like they knew what they were talking about. They were working with the other employees in the hospital. So it was really exciting and really fun to see that, I see them on campus walking around in a different color scrubs and different things like that. And then to actually see them out, like really working and learning. So that was really good. Yes.
Right. And also, a lot of our student graduates out there, they're supervisors in these departments,
Yes.
and right. And people, they don't know that because, they don't have a student uniform on,
Right.
obviously, at this point, but they are definitely out there as
we
supervisors and managers.
we'll have to get special scrubs that says I graduated from SJR State Ally Health Program. Now, in what ways can the community support the Ally Health Program at St. John's River State College?
Education, spread the word. Like I
Mhm.
said, how many times do people really not understand, the places that we're in? And also, if you haven't stopped by our campuses, please don't hesitate to, ask
Stop
for a
by.
tour or something and stop
Yes.
by, because I will tell you, we have the most up-to-date equipment that we can have. Like, for example, radiology last year, they got brand new digital equipment. That's a CareStream, that's in the hospitals. With respiratory care, we have a live lab, the oxygen and the air is there. Plus we have ventilators that the students will use. Sonography, again, coming on board. The machines that we brought in are readily used in our hospitals. So the students do train, and then simulators from, low fidelity to high fidelity, all of them. We have the ambulance in Orange Park, with EMS, and then they have a lot of equipment as well. So
Definitely.
just don't, understand that we do have all this at our campuses. And these labs were not designed without going to other, state colleges or locations and getting, feedback from them, and then bringing it back here and saying, okay, we need to do this, and also learning from their mistakes as well. Not that we were perfect,
Right.
to putting it together, but those efforts have gone into the design and the creation and the stocking of the equipment in the labs.
Definitely. Now, allied health is kind of like a umbrella. So can you kind of just touch on the different programs under allied health?
So here we have, I'm going to start out with EMS. We have
Okay.
emergency medical technician, we have paramedic, and then we have health information technology, we have health services management, medical office administration, of course, diagnostic medical sonography technology now, radiologic technology, medical assisting, respiratory care. And those are the programs here that are offered.
Okay. And so, what skills do you believe, in your opinion, are most critical for students entering the allied health field? I know we definitely talked about not skimming and not just like trying to skim by because you're saving lives out here, people.
Right. It would definitely be communication, collaboration. You can't go into a lab competency, with your cell phone.
Right.
You can't, it's the critical thinking. It's being able to break down a puzzle, because first you're given this data, and then you interpret it based on your knowledge, and then you complete that, and you make a decision. Okay, what do I do next?
Right.
And that's really right. And you have to communicate. And sometimes with students, our faculty do a tremendous job and as far as bringing somebody from day one until the last day. And some of these students coming in, though, they don't, they really don't want to talk. They really don't want to
Mm,
do that. So we do have to work really hard with them as
right.
far as, okay, you have to communicate.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like, they say, well, why did you say this or why did you say that? Well, we did it for a reason, because all of us teaching in any health area, you are a credentialed practitioner. So we are, we're coming off some of our real world scenarios as well and forming it to where, the students can learn from that.
Right. And it's almost also like for those students, you know, when they're first starting, they may be shy or a little timid and they're not communicating. It's like, is this something that you really want to do? It's time to think like, will I be successful in this career, based on I don't really like people or I don't want to talk or I enjoy saving lives. I just don't want to talk to people. So I agree that communication is definitely very important in all aspects of life, definitely. What role does technology play in in education and in training in the classroom?
Well, just to give you an example, I mentioned the radiologic technology equipment already. So they're all digital. So
Oh,
we had to go digital. Now, you do not see film X-ray any longer. The X-ray view box. If you do,
right, exactly.
it's right. I don't know where that is anymore. Right. So it's all digital. The ventilators that I mentioned before, students don't realize it, but these are Cadillacs. I
Yeah,
mean, compared to learning on some ventilators in the past. And then like the sonography machines, that you have to have technology because these images they got to be clear. They have
right.
to be concise, because you are you're looking for diagnoses on patients, and you have to make sure that health information technology, I mean, they have to keep up with, any type of change in, updates to software. And we look at that as well, because again, rely on faculty for, to tell us, hey, this is what we need. And so it is
Definitely.
very important that we do that. And we have to keep touch base out there in the industry as well.
Yes. I remember some of the tours that we do, and we students get to actually see the equipment and see the technology, and it's really exciting for the students, but as well because you want the students in the program to be working and getting that real life experience. So the better the technology or the more technology, the better, because it's like working on a real person, or doing whatever to a real I don't it's not called a mannequin. It's like a
It's a simulator.
there you go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and okay, and another aspect on technology is, like, for example, respiratory care. We have merged to this other company. They've always been there with one, and this is just an example as why. Is because now we can actually get volumes from the simulator to actually depict pretty accurate as far as the ventilator. So yes, it is like a patient is laying in the bed there, except it is the simulator. And
Right.
honestly, I thought we would never get to that point, but we're here. So the
Right.
next move, we're going out. Everybody, you've probably already seen the robots up and walking.
Yep.
This is key here, because I will one day, that simulator is going to be able to,
Oh my
sit
God.
up, and they're going to be able to turn, and I guarantee you they will be able to stand up and walk out of that bed. I do, and I believe that's coming. I don't know. I'm predicting in the next decade.
Oh wow. That will be really exciting because you're right. I think probably years ago we probably worked on ourselves, or we just pretended, like let's do this and let's do that, and now we have a simulator, and then in the years to come, if that thing gets up and walks, I'm like, maybe not today.
Well, let me just say, there are still some things though that, we do just still need, we can't do a lot,
Right.
in lab on real people. But yes, simulator is a simulator as well. That's not going to depict everything that a live person would do, but they are here. And this is some of the things, people, they just don't, they don't know, or they don't think about.
Right. Now, what is your vision for the Allied Health Program in the next 5 to 10 years?
Adding programs is feasible. And just really what we've talked about, continuing to move it forward, continuing to stay relevant. I will say that the pay for allied health is something I never thought I would see. And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Right. Yes, it's increased. I never thought respiratory care would be paid what they are now. And radiologic technology, same way. Medical assisting, we have students coming out, and that, they're being offered 20 an hour, which some
Yes,
people may not think that's much, but if you look back at where,
where
that
they came
profession
from.
was, right? You got firefighter and EMT. I mean, they're entry level. One of our counties closest to us, is offering 47,000
Wow.
per year. You got respiratory, again, I mentioned those, but you got anywhere, depending on where you go for employment, 28, to possibly high 30s starting out. And I think the pandemic
Right.
definitely made a difference with us,
Hmm.
but it's also, hospitals are having to come out to with different ideas with retention strategies. And
Right.
that, I mentioned EMT, firefighter. Well, of course, paramedic would make more than that. And health information technology, has raised a little bit as well. So that's, really where I see the, as far as just being able to still strengthen the healthcare team
Right.
with people that still have a desire to help others.
Yep. And I was when you mentioned the salary and things like that, I was thinking in my head that most people that are going into these fields, the money's great. Don't get me wrong, money's great, but I really think, they want to help their community. They want to help others, and so they have a heart for that. And so I think no matter the pay, good, good or bad, I think people that go into these fields will be there because they want to make a difference and they want to help. So,
And I'm going to put a plug out there too. I knew teaching was a gift.
hmm
I've had that, but just the fact of people don't realize too that, hey, if I finish one of these programs to get my bachelor's degree, well, again, bachelor's degree, you could, again, be considered for teaching,
right. Yep.
at college level. So if you want to give back to your profession through teaching, go on and get your bachelor's degree. And again, that's just another option because
Definitely.
I always kept it open because when I came here, I was like, well, okay, I can teach, I can go out, but I don't have to carry a full patient load,
Right.
and vice versa. So anyway, like I said, you can still get your hands out on in the hospital, even though you're just not there.
Definitely. Now, are there any upcoming events in the Allied Health Program? I know there's open house. We have the college as a whole will have open house. So if you're interested in Allied Health, you definitely should come out to our open house. And the dates are on our website because I don't know them by heart. But are there any other upcoming things that you guys are doing event wise?
We are in planning stages, and I'm sorry, but I'm not ready to put it out there yet.
Okay, okay.
But
So definitely stay tuned.
yes,
Make sure you're
no, but
checking out the
we are
website.
right, and we're moving towards doing some more community events and that sort of item, and bringing in, other industry partners to campuses as well.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Now, lastly, this is just what is your favorite part about being the dean of allied health? It could be working with the professors, students, or but what is your favorite part of being the dean?
After my one of my first graduating classes, it was the joy of seeing that I had a small part in a
Mm-hmm.
student gaining a job,
Mm-hmm.
which not only did they finish the program, they earned their associate degree, but they also, or a certificate, either one.
Right.
But they were able to better their not only their self, but the people around them. And it was, of course, family is affected by all of this, and workforce development. That's my passion. It doesn't matter which part we're talking about, honestly. It's seeing these graduates get jobs, get positions, anywhere from apprenticeship to certificate to associate degree,
Exactly.
whatever we were talking about. So that is just because I get to be a small part of that.
Exactly. Now, I definitely agree with you. It's like the feeling that you get. It's almost like it's like a proud mom moment because you work with, you saw the student come in through the application process, and you're like, you need this, and you keep reminding them to do this. You see them during finals. You see them through really life situations. Life is happening while a student is still in school, and you get to see them through that and maybe assist with that. You get to see the high moments, the passing the test, coming to class, the days that they don't want to be in class. You get to see all of that, and then that magical moment. When they call their name, everybody's there, everybody's cheering them on, and you're like, I helped with just a little piece of that. I would, and it's a really proud moment, and especially if you have 50 graduates or whatever the number is, you're like, oh, I'm 50 times the mom, proud mom. So I definitely agree. With my I worked in my time with in the adult ed department, seeing those students come in and then get to the finish line and graduate. So it's really, really definitely a proud moment.
And
Um,
and just the relationship with our industry partners as well. And knowing the type of graduate that does come from our programs, we get that feedback. And yes, they respect our graduates. And also, some of these places get a chance to see them for sometimes extended periods. In other words, they either doing their clinical rotations or they do an internship with them, or something like that. And then it's like, okay, you pass your boards. Yes, we have something waiting for you.
right, definitely. And then seeing that, like seeing them in clinicals and then getting offered a job is just amazing. So, well, we thank you for being with us today. So thank you to our viewers for tuning in to Virtually Viking, where we bring you insightful topics and conversation surrounding SJR State College. Today we had the pleasure. Oh my gosh, we had the pleasure of speaking with the Dean of Allied Health. So we thank you, Dr. Colette, for joining us today. We hope you found our discussion enlightening. Remember, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our show and share it with your friends and colleagues. We love to hear your thoughts and feedback, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. Stay tuned for more engaging episodes as we continue to explore the dynamic world of education and beyond. Until next time, this is Sunshine signing out from Virtually Viking. Keep learning, keep exploring, keep pushing the boundaries of possibilities, and go Vikings.